Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Rando Geek. So we have some cord-cutting news, some updates regarding the WWE Network. Looks like they're going to be merging over with Netflix. Netflix will be taking over the WWE Network. Currently, it is on Peacock. That is one of the biggest ways to get it. There was a deal struck between Peacock and the WWE some time ago, but it looks like now that will change. So it looks like it'll be taken over by Netflix. Now, I do want to be straightforward and clear with you. Currently, it looks like this will only be taking place for customers outside of the United States. Currently. But mark my words, this will change. It will be for all customers. Some are saying there's some contracts that still need to expire before the move takes place in the United States. We're looking at somewhere between late 2025 to early 2026, which we might see the full change and the full production move completely over to Netflix. Link for this article will be provided for you down below if you guys would like to check it out on your own. And it is coming from Cord Cutters News. But make no mistake, like I said, this is definitely going to happen. And it's a lot of it has to do with the fact that Netflix has shown an extreme excitement in sports in general. They're trying to get more sports entertainment. We've just seen recently the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight, right? That was huge numbers for Netflix, okay? Doesn't matter if you enjoyed the fight, doesn't matter at all. Millions of millions and millions and millions of people tuned into that fight, and it was a free fight for those that have Netflix. If you've already subscribed to Netflix, you just got that fight for free, whether you liked it or not. And that's what'll happen with the WWE, and that's what we're hearing about will happen with the UFC, right? There's talks about Dana White, the CEO of UFC. He's in discussions with Netflix, and, he knows the value of the company, so it's going to cost him a shiny penny, a lot of big money, but those deals will be eventually most likely worked out. And yeah, you'll be able to watch UFC fights on, Netflix. All right, so let's just dive into the information that you need to know first. All right, so the WWE Network will cease to exist as a standalone streaming service in international markets starting January 1st of 2025. They're saying the extensive library of WWE content, including classic matches, pay-per-view events, and original shows, will find a new exclusive home on Netflix. They're saying with this move, the WWE Netflix will shut down. Originally a standalone streaming service, later merged into Peacock, it is now coming to an end. The WWE Network was still available in international markets, but now the WWE is moving to Netflix worldwide per a press release obtained by SI. This move marks a significant change for international fans who have relied on WWE Network to access WWE's vast archive and current programming. Netflix will now become the go-to destination for all things WWE outside of the United States. And again, for now, mark your calendar. I'm telling you, it's going to happen in the US as well. So starting January 1st, Netflix will offer a comprehensive collection of WWE content, including weekly shows Raw, SmackDown, and Next, premium live events, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, etc. All the good stuff that we all knew and grew up with. Classic matches and moments, a selection of historic matches and iconic moments from WWE's past. Original programming, documentaries, reality shows, and the other original content. Raw premieres on Netflix. The first live episode, they're saying, of Monday Night Raw to air on Netflix will be on January 6th. And, it'll have all your favorite wrestlers: Cena, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Bianca Belair, etc., etc. Impact will be on there as well. Strategic shift for WWE. This move signifies a strategic shift, of course, for WWE, leveraging Netflix's global reach and massive subscriber base to expand its audience and potentially attract new fans. So they're hoping that Netflix, because it has a wider audience, people from all walks of the world watch Netflix for different types of shows and programming. And they're hoping that, for those that don't really see enough of, wrestling over there, WWE, it'll hit them and it'll reach a whole new audience and it'll become like this really big thing in other countries because it's not as big as it used to be in the US. A lot of the wrestling fans have grown up and a lot of today's generation doesn't really watch anything but kind of like YouTube now, right? The cable is done. Any of those types of programming that used to be really popular back in the day is done. I mean, the only fighting sport that's popular now is UFC. No, they don't watch boxing. They certainly don't watch wrestling, right? Or should I say, they certainly don't watch boxing. Some of them watch wrestling, and it's just mostly UFC, which is why I think UFC will certainly make its way over to Netflix because it'll have an even bigger reach than what it has now, and there'll just be so much more money in Dana White's pocket and the UFC fighters' pockets, because it's argumental about how much money they actually get paid for those fights, right? They supposedly the purse amount for those fights is not really good, right? Boxers get paid 20 times more than what a lot of the UFC fighters get, and it's argumental about which sport is a little bit worse, right? Some might say boxing is worse because you're constantly getting punched in the face, but then some might say UFC is far worse because you can wind up completely crippled. I'm going to go with the second answer. I do think UFC is worse. I think there's greater potential to get a lot more hurt as a UFC fighter than there is boxing because, you have gloves, bigger padded gloves in boxing. It's a little bit more protected. There's more rules. And you're really just throwing hands. In UFC, there's so much going on: wrestling, kicking, punching. It's aggressive. So there's a lot more danger, and those fighters should be paid a lot of money because they're really putting themselves in jeopardy. So, but that's pretty much what we have here. My take on this is that it's definitely going to come to the U.S. Okay, it's going to come because there's a huge market for it here. Sports in general, a lot of these, like I said, I think we're going to see more boxing events on Netflix. We're going to certainly see UFC is going to most likely get its way over there. And this is just the normal now because Netflix has a very big audience. Netflix is losing subscribers. And what better way to get those subscribers? Show sports. Show the things that people still watch cable for. Basically, cable is going to have even more of a problem now. And why is this happening? Because here's how this started. One, more people watch Netflix than they do of cable, more, especially the younger generation anyway, right? Those are the ones that are actually paying for these services. They're the ones that count right now, okay? So more people are watching Netflix than they are on cable. So therefore, there's a bigger audience, which makes Netflix more valuable. But at the same time, Netflix is losing subscribers, so they're looking for ways to get more subscribers as well. So for whatever subscribers they are losing, they're trying to either win them back or get new subscribers or, just maintain and not lose any more. All three is the right answer if you ask me on that. All right, so we have that reason. Then we have the fact that cable can't make the deals that they used to make because their market is so small, because there's not enough viewership and demand for cable. When a company like UFC or the WWE wants to make a deal with them, we have these companies like Spectrum, like Dish, like DirecTV. They're not reaching into their pockets. They're not writing a check because they just don't see the value anymore. And it's hurting them furthermore, right? They're losing even more customers as a result of this because they're losing the little bit of entertainment that people do hold on to traditional cable for. So this is why I say, cable is going to have more of a problem, and fans that have cable will have to adjust because whether they want to leave cable or not, they're going to have to adjust because soon enough, all of their favorite, and loved programming is going to be taken away and put on separate streaming services. This is the way to do it now. They're just going to force you to pay for like 10 different things to see what you want. So if you like the WWE network, you're going to have to pay for one service for it. Okay. If you want to watch, the Hallmark channel, then you'll have to get this. If you want to watch movies, then you'll have to get this. So they're just finding a way to constantly keep the money moving. And, unfortunately, the customer is going to have all these different services. The company that is gracious and smart enough and willing to take in a little less profit and somehow work these deals out with these providers and entertainment companies will be the ones to get more fans. But eventually, you know, what happens is they start nice, they start cheap and providing the value. But then once they start to get popular, they start to raise the prices. And we just keep playing this vicious game over and over again. So like you'll find this good company, it'll come, they'll offer everything you want for $20. Next year it'll be 25, then before you know it's 35, and then it's 50, and then you know they're taking away the channels. So what am I saying? This is the normal now. We got to figure out what we need and don't need, right? Find ways to watch it free. There's plenty of free streaming services out there that provide a lot of good stuff for us. And that's it, because otherwise we're going to get hooked into these games. And as a consumer that doesn't believe in just throwing money away at these, you know, entertainment services, you know, personally, it just makes my head spin having too many of these things. You know, I don't know if it's worth all that stress, right? Personally, but that's just me. Hopefully you guys found this video useful. All right. But yeah, definitely you're going to see more of this happening. Netflix is definitely looking to become your first stop and shop for sports. 100%. We know this. They've said it. They'll continue to talk about it. They have a global presence, Netflix, and yeah, they're gonna do it. They're gonna definitely be. They're gonna be your stop and shop. Now, with that being said, before I close this out, the plus side of it is if you already have a Netflix subscription and you like it, you'll get to watch all these fights for free, right? I don't think Netflix will start to charge more. They could. Right? They could. Hopefully that's not the case. It could be. We'll have to wait and see. But, you know, big fights like the Tyson and Jake Paul fight, big wrestling matches that people pay a lot of money on pay-per-view for, you get it free on Netflix. I mean, that's not a bad deal, right? You're saving a lot of money because you don't have to pay for the pay-per-view event. You're getting those matches free. So even if they are terrible, no impact on you financially, just your normal monthly subscription. So there's a plus, a very big plus for those that like to, you know, normally would pay for those fights. You won't have to do that now, right? So that's something we have to consider. But then at the same time, you know, there's the other customers that don't want all the other stuff, that they'll have to subscribe for that. But I mean, I think, like I said, everyone's just going to have to adjust, figure out what they need, what they don't need, and just kind of get used to it, because this is where we're going. Like, this is how it is now. As always, thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.